Hello and welcome to Sobrix. I'm Adam and this is Sobrix. This is my channel for reviewing Lego sets and building them and other Lego related stuff. In this video, I'm going to be taking a third and final look at the Lego Creator 3-in-1 Exotic Peacock set. This is set number 31157. It has 355 pieces and I paid $20 for this. So I've already done a video looking at and reviewing the main build for the Peacock, and I've already done a video looking at this alternate model for the Dragonfly, which is what I have in front of me. So in this video, I am going to disassemble the Dragonfly and put together the third alternate model here, which looks to be a butterfly or a moth or something like that. And I'm pretty excited about this. This looks to me like it uses more pieces than the Dragonfly, but the Dragonfly does have, like 48 of these 1x1 translucent tiles in it, so that does take up a lot of the piece count here. So we'll have to see. As far as volume goes, this certainly looks like it has more. It looks like the base is more substantial, as well as some of the other stuff. And I loved the insect collection, and so I want to see how this butterfly compares to that one, so I'm excited to look at it. So in this video, I'm going to take apart the Dragonfly and then put together the butterfly. So while I disassemble this and while I build this, I will speed the video up and then I'll slow it back down to review the third alternate model for this set. So until then, enjoy. Okay, so while we look at the disassembly for this Dragonfly alternate model for the Lego Creator 3-in-1 Exotic Peacock set, and then while we look at the build for the third alternate model of the butterfly for this set, I just wanted to say thanks for watching and then remind you, if you like the video, click the thumbs up. If you like my other videos, click the subscribe button. That helps me a lot. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, so thank you very much. And as we start the build here, we start building kind of this interesting base, and I didn't know what it was from looking at the pictures, and I talk about this more in the full review, but if you know what this is going to be while I'm building it, congrats to you, because I was very, very confused. There was some nice techniques in here, and I think I recognize the end result. And then we move on to the body of the butterfly, which is super, super basic. We're pretty much already done with it except for the head, so just a few pieces in the body. Then we add the wings. The bottom two wings are very similar, the smaller wings, and then the top wings are mirrored left and right, so they have some differences in the build. We add the head connected to the base, and now onto my review for this set. Okay, so this is the third and final alternate model for the Lego Creator 3-in-1 Exotic Peacock set. This is the butterfly model. So this is another one where I was not super thrilled about it. I guess I was more thrilled about it than I was the Dragonfly, and the Dragonfly kind of surprised me. And then this one I was interested in because I built other Lego butterflies, and so I wanted to see this, but I really didn't get a firm grasp on what the base was until I got it in my hand. I couldn't tell even from the pictures really what was going on here, and now I have a better understanding of this. So this is actually interesting. The first thing we'll look at is all of the pieces not used in this model. So a lot of the leaf pieces, it uses 3 of them, and I don't know what color they're supposed to be. I didn't use any of the gold. I used 3 of the darker green and none of the kind of lighter green there. And it also doesn't use a whole ton of these blue translucent, and there's 4 of the kind of oh, you know what, I might have forgotten to put a couple pieces on here, and I'm assuming these are this color. So there's 2 of the light reddish pinkish translucent, and it only uses 2 of the blue out of probably 40 of them, 48 of them, or something like that. It doesn't use any of the big plate pieces, the big wing pieces, of which there are many. Again, doesn't use really any of the Technic. It doesn't use all of the mixel joints, doesn't use the big arches. So there's actually some similarities with the usage here. This one does use like one of the big step pieces, or the slightly bigger version of this piece. It does use the big kind of rounded corner, or big-ish kind of rounded corner pieces there, which is good. And it used all of these like green rounded plates, 2x6 or whatever they are. Used a good amount of the Nexonite shields, so kind of interesting here. It also did make use of the small gold barbs and the yellow cones, or I think they're yellow. I don't know if they are I don't know if they are green or yellow. I think yellow. So anyway, the first thing you build and the first thing we'll talk about is this base. And the kind of model looks like this. This is kind of the angle that it's shown on the instructions and on the box, but I think it's much more easy to understand when it's like this. I could not for the life of me figure out like what was going on here, if it was some other creature, some other bug. These almost look like tusks or fangs or something like that. The colors are kind of interesting there, but I think that's really just support. And the main base here, or the main volume of the base that you build, is, I believe, a flower. And so when I think about it in that way, I really like it. I like how they did the use of these kind of rounded slope pieces, corner pieces, to make petals kind of at the edge. I also really appreciated how we kind of offset this on an angle a little bit, not a tremendous amount, but shifted that a little bit in a brick-based system, which is nice. I did also really appreciate the use of the 1x2 with the slope and the plate on one side, and then put the cheese wedge there and do that all in the center here. I have the kind of, I can't remember if these are like the pistils or the stamen or whatever. There's different parts of the flower reproductive parts that help to spread pollen and pollinate each other and all this other stuff. So I believe that's what that's supposed to be, and it's also maybe where some nectar is created or some pollen is. And I really liked how they did this. So we kind of do like a 1x1 stud, and then skip 2 studs, put one there, skip 2, put one there, skip 2, and it's just on that it's on a 4x4 kind of area. And then underneath the 4x4 area above that, we put the green 1x1 plates, and then we kind of line those up to get this really nice effect here. So it's kind of cascading, it's alternating, it feels more organic than I thought I would, and I can really see this as a flower. As far as the rest of the base here, I think it's for stability. Potentially it's another part of the flower that would be, if this was on a stem or something, this would be up and extending more vertical, but laying down it's kind of like this. So I don't know what all this is supposed to be. It's all fine here. I think it serves its purpose, and it's where the butterfly connects. So that's the first thing you build, and I was actually pretty impressed by this. It doesn't use a ton of pieces, but it looks really great. I think it looks great from the top down here, especially all this stuff. I love building Lego flowers, Lego botanicals, stuff like that, and this had some stuff that I hadn't seen in some of those. It's a little bit big and a little bit bulky for some of the botanical collection, but I still really, really appreciate it, and it does give me some ideas for how to make more seemingly organic shapes in the future in the Lego system. And then the rest of this model is this butterfly here. So you start by building the body, and it's super basic. You got the 2x4, add the 1x2 with the bar coming off, add a bracket on the front, some of the mixel ball joints in there, and then you just put a tile up top. For the head, you add that last. There's a jumper on the front of that bracket. You use a bracket here. You do use the nice grass piece here to make like the not the mouth or the nose, whatever, the piece of the butterfly that is used to feed, I believe. So maybe the mouth. And this actually works really, really well to me. If you've ever seen, there's like a SpongeBob episode where you see a butterfly like in macro lens or something. That was like really creeped me out as a kid. But butterflies have an interesting face structure, an interesting kind of mouth area, and this actually is a pretty good approximation of that. The eyes is where I used the light blue translucent or the blue translucent, which I think is correct. And so the body is very, very basic, really flat, maybe too flat almost. And so that's okay. And then you work on building the wings here. So the bottom wings, the wings aren't like connected, so it is like it has 4 wings instead of just 2, and that's okay. I don't know if there are any butterflies that actually follow that or would be like that. I think most of them just have 2 that are like more connected here. But you build these, and these are the same, so it uses 2 of these, rounded plates here. Uses a Nexonite shield, the mixel joint, one of the round jumpers, and some tiling out on the edge, so that's really good. And then you build the kind of upper wings, the bigger portion, and I really, really liked this. These are kind of mirrored from each other, so you don't build them the exact same, but they're very similar. I like how the colors flow. I like how they have the eyepiece still being used, maybe as some sort of camouflage. Sometimes mole or moths rather, and butterflies might have, other insects might have camouflage to protect them from predators, to make them look like something else, and I think this sort of serves that purpose in a nice way, so I appreciate that. And then we build this up, so you can see kind of the base construction of this feels a little interesting. We have different layers of plates that all come together, but there's also some like gap stuff in that. It's not just like solid all the way through, but it still feels pretty good. And then just a lot of tiling out, which is good as well. And then these wings can also be posed because they're on the mixel joints. They can kind of be moved a little bit. You can angle them up. You could probably angle these up as well, or angle these back, however it feels the most natural, and I think that's pretty good. There's not a ton of range of motion, but there's a little bit. Theoretically, you could also kind of turn the head area a little bit to make it seem like it's kind of leaning or turning or something, and then it uses the modified plate with the bar on the back to connect to this flower stand base at these 2 clips. And I was actually impressed by how this works and how the final kind of model put together looks. So we clip that on there, and what happens, because the way you construct this is it has a tendency to lean, because it's kind of a lot of weight for 2 clips, but because of like the plates underneath there and all this is built, it kind of just sits right on there and it's not going to fall over anymore. So that feels really great. The wings and then some of the other base kind of can prevent it from leaning like too far back, but you can get it there as well by moving some of the wings. But setting it forward like that, it has the kind of mouth thing here going right into the center of the flower. So that's really, really good. It actually feels like it's feeding or getting, pollen or whatever nectar out of the center of the flower there in a great way. And it doesn't quite like touch anything down there, and it actually feels kind of nice, like suspended in the air. And this sort of stuff can kind of fade away, like maybe it's hovering or flying there, which I think is really well done. I think it does look good like this. I think the reason that a lot of the official images are like this, so you can see the pattern on the wings and everything, but I think that does a little bit of a disservice to it, because what the flower is and the combination of them is more impressive to me. And this actually feels kind of like something you could view from all angles. Of course, if you're looking at it from like this angle, if it was flat on a table here, you would see a lot of the bottom of these plates, but I actually don't mind that. It's still a nice mixture of color and stuff and texture that makes it feel okay like that. So that patterning back there is actually pretty all right in my opinion. And then you do get access to the whole flower. You do get access to looking at the kind of action of this sort of feeding here, which I think is really, really nice. And I just think this angle here is great. You can set it down, feels very stable. It's not going to go anywhere. We do have, this is relatively long-ish and has some bulk, so it has some weight there, and this is just maybe for some extra detail but also extra stability, and it sits perfectly fine, and it's really, really nice. So I like that a lot. You know, I actually don't know if I like this one more or less than the Dragonfly. I think I like this one more because the base is so much more interesting, and the actual design of the insect is more interesting as well. I thought the Dragonfly did a lot of things right, but it was very, very basic. This is relatively basic too. I mean, the body of this thing is way more basic than the Dragonfly's, but the Dragonfly body that was in the alternate model, but this is really, really nice. So I like this one more. This one might be, you know, up there with the Peacock as well, because I think this is really great. It's a nice little model. Again, it's probably more display oriented because it does come with the base, but there could be, you know, play here as well by kind of taking this off and flying this around and flapping the wings and positioning it, and I think that's welcome. But for the most part, it's probably more of a display oriented set, but it could interact with other brick built insects, other brick built animals, other brick built plant life, and so that's really, really nice. I would be interesting to see if other people kind of take this flower design and do more with it. Maybe I'll try my hand at that as well. And you know, this butterfly isn't as good as the one in the insect collection, but it's not the intended to be. It's not the same kind of model, so that totally works for me. And I actually don't have the butterfly from the insect collection like super near me right now to go grab. Normally I would grab it. Let me actually see if I can grab it. Okay, so here is the butterfly from the insect collection. And you can see the tiling out of the detail for the wings is a lot more intricate, less gaps, less like layers visible. It does have the printed pieces, but there's a lot of similarities too. The body on the Creator 3-in-1 is way more basic. It's bigger, it's bulkier. This one's just like 1 maybe to 3 studs there, but this one just uses the bucket handle as kind of the head area, and I think the one on the Creator 3-in-1 is more interesting, more realistic, and more fun, and is a really nice piece usage. But you know, the footprint of the wings and the body is pretty similar here, so they're not too far out of line, but I think there is some noticeable differences with the intricacy of which things work together, the different angles things work at, and this is just more delicate, more advanced in the insect collection. This one's way more accessible to people of different building kind of experience and whatever else. So I like them both a lot. The bottom of this one feels a little more managed. The color choices feels a little more managed because this is an alternate model from something that had every other things. The colors could feel a little bit random. This one's way more coherent or consistent throughout it, but they're both pretty good. The other thing is like the shape of the wings overall is better here, and the wings are connected, and they do have like there's a subtle little like change in the kind of height or the thickness of those. And for this one, you know, it has like 4 wings instead of 2, so that's just a small little difference. But I think this is the Creator 3-in-1 model here is a totally acceptable way to do a butterfly, and I think they did a really good job. And there's actually, yeah, there's a lot of similarities here that I think they did right, so that's pretty cool in my opinion. And I do like this more with the insect collection. The base for this one is like having the butterfly kind of like perched on a branch or something like that, and I almost wish they would have done something like this to make it like a feeding kind of action there for that. But I still really like the insect collection, and I really like this Creator 3-in-1, so let me put this away for now. And I think that's everything for this one. I already kind of talked about all the pieces it doesn't use, so if a person really, really liked the Dragonfly model or really, really liked the butterfly model here, there is a lot of pieces that can be used in mocks or just added to inventory and stuff like that. All of these big kind of wing plates here, gold leaves, green leaves, other green leaves, tons of stuff, a lot of these 1x1s. Only the main model made use of this kind of opalescent translucent, satin translucent fern piece, and maybe this could have been added somewhere or used in the other models because they did kind of have an element of plant life in them, but because there's only one of those, maybe that's why they opted not to use it. But this is really strong. I think, the Peacock was really great, and this is really strong too, so that's good. We already covered the extra pieces. These are the extra pieces from the main build that are kind of all the tiny pieces that LEGO would throw in one extra because of the weight and the way they package pieces in the bags. So that's really, really nice, and I like this. 355 pieces for $20 is great. There's a good amount of volume in the main build. There's good volume in this build, good weight, good kind of presence and footprint and visual weight and volume of stuff here that feels really good, more so than the Dragonfly. So this is easily as good or as the probably Peacock for me, or maybe just slightly below, and the Dragonfly is in kind of the third place for me out of all these models. But I think they're all super serviceable, and there could be reasons for anybody to land on one model versus the other. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I might end up going back to the Peacock. I might try to make something with this butterfly, adjust the wings a little bit, and maybe set it up with the insect collection if that's possible to make it look like it's consistent. I would be willing to try that, and this is really good, and I think the value speaks for itself. You get 355 pieces for $20, a lot of big pieces. You get a lot of these plates, some specialized pieces, and you get 3 models that are all super serviceable and really good looking, and also very fun and colorful and bright and enjoyable for me. So I really like it. I think this is a great value set. So that's all about this. I really enjoyed it. I like it. So if you like this video, please click the thumbs up and give it a like. If you like my other videos, click the subscribe button so you can stay up to date on all the LEGO videos I'll be doing here in the future, including more LEGO Creator 3-in-1, and then tons of other LEGO sets from all different themes, all different shape, size, price point, piece count, tons of different stuff. So subscribe so you don't miss any of those upcoming LEGO videos. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers, so we crossed the 900 subscriber milestone and on to the next one. I appreciate all the support. It means a lot to me, so thank you very much. If you like my stuff, please consider subscribing. It really, really helps. And leave comments and likes and all that other stuff too. I appreciate it. And if you want to support this channel in another way, you can do that right here on YouTube with membership, supers, and thanks. And I have the Patreon. It's in the video description. It's on my channel page, patreon.com/sobricks. And maybe consider checking that stuff out. It is greatly appreciated. So thank you very much. And with all that said, until next time, thanks. Bye.